Good evening. My name is Demario Woods, and I'm the backend developer for Cougar Solutions, and I'll be demonstrating our application tonight. Okay. So what we built is a visitor management application that allows VA certifying officials to manage a queue of students waiting in their lobby. It also allows those VA certifying officials to preview the issues of the students waiting in the lobby. And this helps in a number of ways. It helps them to be more proactive in handling student issues. It also allows them better time to prepare for each student visit. So their initial problem was when students come in, they have to ring a bell, and certifying officials are then approach the student with a question of what their issue is. And a lot of the times, a VA certifying official may have to go to back to their desk to look up that information. And so what this application does, it allows them to preview that information just sitting at their desk, and then they can better handle the student's issues. Instead of approaching the student with a question, they're approaching the student with a solution. All right. So I'll go ahead and get into our application. But first, I'll explain a little bit more. So our application is divided into three main parts. It's divided into a student kiosk, obviously used by the students to submit their information to the VA certifying officials, and also a user console that's used by the VA certifying officials to view the information of the students who submitted their information through the student kiosk. And last but not least, a admin user console. This is so VA management can view reports on how many students have come in within the past 30 days, 6 months, or a year's time frame. It also allows them to manage the staff of the system, add new staff members, add new users to the system. Okay, so I'll go ahead and get into our application. The screen we're at now is the student kiosk screen. And this is the screen that students will use to submit their information. This part of the application will run on a separate PC in the front lobby of the Veterans Affairs Center in order for the students to come in and sign in. Okay, and the user console, which we'll view later, will run on each certifying official's machine in order for them to preview the student's information. Okay, and the admin user console will obviously run on the VA management machine, but it's logically all the same application, just used by different groups. Okay. All right. So we're at the student kiosk screen. We get to choose either our first-time visitor or a returning visitor. Okay. So I'm going to be showing the point of view from a first-time visitor first, and then we'll go ahead and see returning visitor. So if I click a first-time visitor, I get taken to a form that asks for some initial information. Okay, and this is the initial information that the certifying officials will need in order to better handle student issues. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put in a student ID number. We'll make one up real quick. All right. I don't like that student ID number. All right. Okay, and then we'll choose a campus, and we'll enter a name. In this case, will be Greg Varela. Will be Greg Varela. All right. Then we'll go ahead and enter our phone number. Now this form does validate information. So if the student happens to submit incorrect information, it will not let the student submit that. It will show an error message. So I'll go ahead and show you that here now, just so you can see. Let's start that. Okay, select the benefit. Okay, and we'll go ahead and make student ID numbers are normally 7 digits long. We'll go ahead and make this one 8, and phone numbers are normally 10 digits long. We'll go ahead and make this 11. If we click proceed, we get an error message that's saying student ID number is too long. It should be a maximum of 7 characters. The phone number is also invalid. It should be a maximum of 10 characters. So we'll go ahead and remove that extra phone number and student ID number. We'll click proceed. Oh, and we still get, I guess we have, yeah, still have too many characters. Okay, So we'll click proceed, and then we get asked to confirm our information. All right. All right. So we can either go back and edit this information if we want, or get taken to a form to edit, or we can go ahead and click proceed. Since it's all correct, I'm going to go ahead and click proceed to proceed on. All right. And then we're going to go ahead and click proceed to sign in. All the information looks correct. Okay, so now we get taken to our check-in form. This is the form that we use to choose. The students will use to choose available VA staff members. So we get, like I said, on the form, we have to choose a staff member based on the first letter of our last name and our education benefit. And our education benefit was Chapter 33, and the first letter of our last name is V. So we'll be choosing Miss Tricia O'Brien. Okay, and then we have to enter our student ID number, and then we get taken to below here. You'll see that it asks for the reason for visit today, and these are the most common reasons that students come in. And then we got this from our project sponsor. These are the most common reasons that students come in with. And so we're going to choose one of these. I didn't receive my monthly stipend. So we'll go ahead and enter some additional notes for them to view. Sorry about not being able to type. All right. And now we're ready to submit. And before we click submit, I'm going to go ahead and log into I'm going to go ahead and show you our user console. Now this is the console that students will that VA certifying officials that will use to preview students' information who have used the student console. Okay, as you can see, there's no one in here right now, and we have a user switchboard on the side, which I'll go into later. Okay, so now let me go ahead and click proceed. We get taken to a confirmation screen where we get told to confirm. Okay, and it says, "Thank you, Greg, for providing information. Please have a seat. Tricia Bauer will be with you shortly." So it's personalized welcome message, and then we'll click close, and then we get taken to back to the home screen. Okay. As you can see, if you hear that sound, that means a student has checked in. It alerts the VA certifying officials that a student has checked in. It mimics the system they already have in place, which is students go in and ring the bell in order for certifying officials to provide them with assistance. So we wanted to digitize that in our system. Okay. So as you can see, Greg Varela, the student we just made, is checked in with his student ID, who he's here to see, what his benefits are, the reason for his visit, and any additional notes that he wanted to provide. So then we could take this information and we can input it into another system to actually look up that information and see in order to address his issue. And so that leaves us to approach him with a solution instead of asking him a question. So it speeds up student visits and makes them very, very, very efficient. Okay, so I'll go ahead and go into detail what everything is in the user console. So over here we have our user switchboard, and it has all the VA staff members information. These are people who see students on a regular basis. And it has their name, and it has 3 little icons next to each staff member's name, and I'll go ahead and explain what those are. So there's a thumbs up icon or thumbs down icon depending on each staff member's name, a 0, and a little profile card indicator. Okay, so the thumbs up indicator is an availability status indicator. So it basically says either this certifying official is available to see students, or they're unavailable to see students. So the green thumbs up means they're available to see students, they're ready to go. The red thumbs down means they're unavailable to see students. And some reasons why they would be unavailable: maybe they went out to lunch for about 5 minutes, or about an hour or so, or maybe they're out sick for that day, and so we don't want the students to be able to choose them if they're not there. And as you can see, some of the same people that have their availability status indicated as negative are not on one of these on the chosen certifying official's name. So as you can see, Stephen Hall is unavailable to see students, so he's not on one of these on the chosen certifying official on the check-in screen. Okay, and Natasha Cornu and Sequoia Brown are not on here as well, and all the rest of them are. Okay, and the number next to each certifying official's name is the amount of students in the queue that they have assigned to them. So as you can see, everyone has zeros except for Tricia Bryan, since she has one student in the queue that's assigned to her. This just helps them. It's a quick overview in case there are 30 students waiting in the lobby. They can see, well, I only have 5 of those 30 students that are assigned to me, so I can just go ahead and go through and sign those and find those 5. Okay, and the little profile contact card is for certifying officials to be able to edit their information. Mostly all this stuff is pretty concrete. We don't want them editing their ID number, so we disable that field. But mostly it's for either uploading a profile picture or choosing an availability status. So they can update their availability status to no, and then we can add and update that, and we can return to the student lobby. And as you can see, Claudia Greenhall has a red thumbs down next to her name. And if we go back to the student check-in screen, you can see that she's no longer one of the available staff members to be chosen. Okay, and then we can also make a staff members available if we add and update their information. You can see Stephen Hall's now available, and if we refresh, we can see that he's now one of the available staff members to be chosen. Okay, and last but not least, these buttons down here are in case students come in with disabilities. Sometimes they're missing ligaments and stuff like that, so maybe they're unable to sign themselves in. So these buttons down here are for students to be able to, or certifying officials to be able to sign those students in without them having to use the student kiosk at all. Okay, and now since we're done with the student visit, we want to go ahead and sign this student out and complete the student visit. So we'll go ahead and click sign out. We'll uncheck that. We'll confirm, and as you can see, that student was successfully signed out. So that doesn't, we don't actually delete them from the table. It's not actually deleting them from the table. It's actually setting a Boolean column in our table to false, and then that goes ahead and removes them from the system, because basically it's a query that allows that only queues for students who are signed in. Okay, and that concludes our user console. It's pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. It allows us to efficiently manage the queue of students, whether there are 30 students or 5 students in here. It allows us to officially manage their information, preview what issues they're coming up with, maybe look up additional information if need be, and then handle those issues effectively. Okay. All right. I'll go ahead and log out right now, and then I'll go ahead and show you how returning visitors check in. It's a little bit different, but mostly the same process. Okay. All right. So we're back at the student's kiosk screen, and we click on returning visitor, and we get asked to enter our student ID number. Now, as you notice, it doesn't ask us for a whole list of information to input. Basically, that information is already in the system. What we want to do now is just look that information up. Okay, so we could choose a student number that has been there. And as you can see, we are able to pull up that information and confirm or not confirm. We'll go ahead and click confirm, and then as you can see, we'll check it to the check-in screen where we're able to check in to see a certifying official again.